Mr. Usherson, they're ready for you in makeup.
Well, what do you expect when you hire a makeup artist from Legends in Concert?
From the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, it's Don Usherson's Entertainment Page. And now, your host, Don Usherson.
Good evening and welcome to the Entertainment Page. Tonight, my guests represent both the slow, methodical rise to popularity in Las Vegas and the much more rare, meteoric rise. Whenever the great lounge names are discussed, including people like Louie Prima, invariably you will also hear the names of the Checkmates, Sonny Charles and Sweet Louie. They've probably won more Lounge Act of the Year honors than any other performers in the town's history. Debbie DeFazio is one of those outstanding vocalists who worked her way up from backup singer for artists like Freddie Bell to moving up front with her own lounge act, then becoming an opening act, and eventually a production show principal performer. She'll share her beautiful voice with us tonight. My first guest, though, is a man whose incredible popularity in this city is a skyrocket. He became a main room star here virtually overnight. He completely sold out the Golden Nugget Cabaret Theater in his first engagement, and the critical and audience acclaim hasn't subsided since. Russian-born, now American citizen, comedian Yakov Smirnoff, when we return. My first guest tonight is a man who has worked the main showroom of the Golden Nugget. He's in his second year, and he's already been named Comedian of the Year twice. Mr. Yakov Smirnoff. Welcome. I understand you just joined the ranks of the married.
Yes, it's actually great. His name is Bob, and
Anybody we know?
Very lovely lady from Oregon. So she really feels like a wife already. It's been only I got married on Valentine's Day, and I'm feeling that she's getting in the wife role very easily. I remember first wedding night, and I wanted to make love, and she said, well, you got to tell me you love me first. And then 10 days later, she said, you're gonna hug me first. And last night I wanted to make love. She said, you're gonna take out the garbage first. So now I feel like a really married man.
I was going to ask you if it spawned any new material, your new status,
yes,
but obviously
yes.
it already has.
Oh, it's great. It's we started, we got married in Hawaii. And so that was full of excitement right there, because there's certain things, Hawaiian people, like, for example, they call appetizers, they call them pupus. I'm not making this up. And they're saying at the reception, first thing we're going to serve is a pupu platter. And I'm saying, well, that's very nice. Who is your chef, Tidy Mole Man or something? So then we had the ceremony, and that was weird because it's in Hawaii, and Tom Selleck was on the island when we were having a reception, so somebody spotted him, and it almost ruined mine and Linda's wedding, because half of the women from the wedding party ran over to take a look at Tom Selleck and upset the hell out of me. I said, Linda, you get back here. I was really upset, and because I wanted to go see him too.
You have that same problem I do when Tom Selleck is around. Huh?
Yeah, well, that's normal.
Let's talk for a second about this incredible thing that has happened with you in Las Vegas, because it's rare that a comedian especially comes to this town as a headliner instead of at least coming in first as an opening act. How did that happen?
Well, I don't know. I guess I like Las Vegas. I've been here once before, a long time ago at Tropicana with Unknown Comic. It was a review kind of a show, and I was here for a couple of weeks, and I liked it a lot, and I said to myself that I really would like to headline. So I by doing more television and doing a lot of things that I didn't want to come as an opening act. I wanted to come in as a headliner, and I waited long enough until Golden Nugget offered this, and I thought it was a great opportunity, and that's when I came in. I was very nervous. You were there first night. When oh, that was scary.
You did extremely well. The room was packed.
Thank you. Well, I felt like if you don't do well, you'll never work this country again or something, you know, so back, you know. It's very good for me since then, and now I have 2 years contract with them. Real nice.
So you're good for the Golden Nugget, too. Oh, we'll be right back with Yakov Smirnoff. Welcome back to the entertainment page. I'm talking to Yakov Smirnoff. I have to ask you, most Americans do not think of the Soviet Union as being very funny. How did Yakov Smirnoff end up being a comedian instead of a vodka bottler?
That too. I guess, well, Americans don't picture Russian comedian, that's for sure. It sounds like Mormon wino to Americans. So. There are comedians, and there are many of them, and I was just funny in school when I was a kid. I grew up shooting spitballs at the teacher, but in Russia, teacher shoots back. So that was the case, and I had to realize that I had to do it professionally. Then got into comedy. I entered the contest, and the best political joke, first prize, 20 years. And I didn't want to win that contest, and I didn't. And eventually got more and more involved in comedy and came here. Did not know if I'll ever be able to do it or not. And at the airport, at Kennedy Airport, they asked me, what do you want to do in America? And I said, through the interpreter, that I want to do comedy. I got one of the biggest laughs I ever had. They were holding their stomachs. I said, I'm doing great so far. You know? That's how it started.
What was the Statue of Liberty line, the fat lady?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was weird because I knew that Statue of Liberty is the first thing you see when you come to America. And I flew to Kennedy Airport, and I see a 400-pound woman in the immigration office. And I looked up, and I said, Statue of Liberty. And she said, no, but I'm tired and I'm poor. So I huddled with her.
If you hear other voices on this set, we've been joined by the Checkmates, Sonny Charles and Sweet Louie.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Now, Sonny and Louie, you're not strangers to Mr. Smirnoff.
No, we aren't. No, we've known him for years, and we're so happy. And I was going to ask you, by the way, I love that watch, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much. I love your jewelry.
Well, hey, you know, my Mr. T starter kit, you see. But it is so nice being on the show. First of all, Don, and like I say, we've been like family. You know, we're just, you know, in the business, they just keep missing each other because our schedules are, you know, very similar. So, but it's nice to share some time, some personal time with, you know, someone that you appreciate.
We really have something unique right here because we have someone here who has been a big star in this town for the last 2 years. You guys have been stars in this town for almost 20 years, right?
We've
Going
been
back to the late 60s.
Yeah.
Tell Mr. Smirnoff a little about what the good old days were like in Las Vegas.
Oh, Sonny, what did you say? Yeah.
Well, I'll try to say it. See, I lost my money playing craps, and I lost my voice singing. I don't know. But no, you know, when we first came to town, we played at a dance club. Most of the lounges were set up in that you had to have an act before you could play the city. You couldn't play the city with just doing numbers. You had to have an act. You had to have a beginning and a middle and an ending, you know. And fortunately for us, because we learned from it, and I think that's why we've been able to sustain our act, even though can't sustain the voice.
How is the situation very much different for you today, working the lounges here?
Oh, to a degree, Don. It's like, as Sonny says, you know, you see now they go through a trend of having dance bands, you know, and it's really weird because where I feel that acts should be, you know, groups with acts, they're just playing top 40 music or, you know, music of today, and it's quite different. It's quite different.
They're singers and they're comics, but they're not really performers.
Right.
Well-rounded performers.
That's what's been lost, I think, you know, through the last decade or so. You know.
Were you telling me something about you have a movie coming up? Involvement in the film?
Yes. It's called, tentatively, it's called Beverly Hills Salon. And,
they cleaned it up, huh?
and I love it. And
8mm or the whole thing?
no, this is the whole thing.
The whole thing.
All of them. And what it is, I play the hairdresser of the stars, and I, my character is Sweet Louie, and I wear a white leather suit with twin holsters. In one holster, I have a gold blow dryer, and the other one I have a pair of gold curling irons. I drive a pink BMW convertible, and the license plate has buns on it. So it's great.
No typecasting involved in that at all.
No, it's going to be like it's like the black version of Shampoo, the old Warren Beatty, and it's funny. It's going to be funny, you know.
Congratulations.
So we're looking for it.
Speaking of beauty salons and beauty, we're going to be joined right now by a lady who has worked across from you in several of the lounges around town, Miss Debbie DeFazio, singing for us, Me and Bobby McGee.
Yeah.
Busted out in Baton Rouge, waiting for the train, feeling as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed the diesel down right before it rained. Rode us up to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon and my dirty red bandana, playing soft as Bobby sang the blues. Windshield wipers for laughing time, holding Bobby's hand in mine, singing every song the driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Freedom, it ain't nothing unless it's free. Oh no, feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. In those Kentucky coal mines to the California sun, well, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Through all kinds of weather, through everything we've done, well, Bobby kept me from the cold. But one day, it was the meanest, I let him slip away. He was looking for a home, I hope he finds it. I'd give all of my tomorrows for one single yesterday. Feeling Bobby's body so close to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Freedom, it ain't nothing unless it's free. No, no. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee.
Welcome back to the entertainment page. We've got a fun little segment for you now with two of your favorite critics called At the Shows, and I'm going to run over there real quick and change. Hi, welcome to At the Shows. This week we're going to take a quick look at the Union Plaza's fun production, Nudes on Ice. Somewhat of a phenomenon in the entertainment capital, It's the first show of its kind in years to enjoy success in downtown Las Vegas. And that after it had to replace the most successful theatrical comedy production ever staged at the Union Plaza, Natalie Needs a Nightie. What did you think of Nudes on Ice, Dick?
I think Siegfried and Roy would have been a bigger success in that show if they had gone downtown instead of to Japan.
Siegfried and Roy, it's an ice show. Its performers work almost exclusively with ice skates, and the cast includes several champion skaters, including starring Adagio team Peter Gordon and Kelly Griego. What did you think of their skating, Dick?
Let's see them do it with a tiger like Siegfried and Roy, who are still in Japan.
Dick, Siegfried and Roy have never worked with a tiger on ice. The longest running star of Nudes on Ice is Valentino, one of the most elegant and polished magicians in town. Don't you think so, Dick?
He cheats. He doesn't wear skates. Siegfried and Roy would wear skates if they were in that show.
Siegfried and Roy have never worked on skates. Well, despite that, producers George Arnold and Bill Moore have just gotten another 6-month extension, guaranteeing the show at least another 1.5-year run. I give Nudes on Ice a thumbs up, and Dick gives Siegfried and Roy a thumbs up. Well, I'm Don.
And I'm Dick.
And we'll see you next time at
the
shows.
shows. No, I really don't.
I like that. Wow.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that as much as you enjoyed hearing Debbie DeFazio, who has now joined us on the set.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Debbie.
You're right.
Let me ask, and I'll throw this out to all of you, that cute little thing we had a little fun with, critics in this city, do they really matter? To any of you?
Not really.
No, not really.
It's always
Well,
nice.
I'm going. I'll say
No.
Present company not included. But no, it doesn't. I don't think it matters that much in as far as how we respond. I think a lot of times you can get a good insight on what you're actually doing, so you'll know what you should kind of change around because you get an objective view.
If it's constructive,
But as far as the audience is coming in, I don't think a critic can stop your audiences.
That's right.
Has the opinion changed over the years? In other words, when you first started, were they more important to you?
No, they ignored us when we first started.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Until you become someone, then they hey, like Sonny said, they ignore you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But,
People, I think it's helpful a lot of times to gather criticism or point out good things.
Yes.
Bad critics, I feel, are the ones who just angry. For no apparent reason. They don't explain why. They just say, we hate his guts, we hate his parents, we hate everybody.
That's right.
And but the show was full, and
well, I'm a happy critic.
You are.
I want to thank Debbie DeFazio. You're over at Arizona Charlie's, Naughty Ladies Review. Sonny, Sweet Louie, you're at the Sands right now, and Yakov at the Golden Nugget.
Yes.
Thanks. Join us again next week.
Thank you.
Just say goodnight, Dawn.